Hi everyone, so today we're going to be taking a look at how to solve a word problem that involves setting up a linear equation. So we have our question typed out here on this slide, so feel free to pause the video, take a screenshot if you need to. We're just going to get straight into the question. So typically the first thing that I like to do when I see a word problem like this is to extract the important information. So we've written out the paragraph here but kind of cut out all the background. So going through it, for the first visit, Ms. Keto worked 3.5 hours and charged $175. So then I would write that as 3.5 hours is equal to $175. And then the second time she worked 5 hours and then charged $275. So then we have 5 hours is equal to $275. And then they also tell us that they want X to be the number of hours and then Y to be the cost in money. So now that we have our information, we've copied it to the top right over here, we can start creating our equation. So remember that linear equations have the form of y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is rewrite this information into points that we can use. So we know that x is in hours and y is in cost or dollars. So our first point is going to be 3.5 and 175, and then our second point will be 5 and 275. So remember that m is equal to rise over run, or expanding that y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we can just call this first one our point 1, the second one our point 2, and plugging that in we have 275 minus 175 over 5 minus 3.5. So then that gives us 100 over 1.5. So that's our slope, and we can plug that into this equation up here and use one of these points, 1 or 2, to solve for b. So we can just go ahead and use the second point again. So we have our y is 275 is equal to our slope 100 over 1.5 times x, which is 5, plus b. We can do a little bit of simplification here. Notice that 1.5 is just 15 divided by 10. So then this would cancel and we would get 0.3. And then over to the right over here, 100 over 0.3. Moving the decimal to the right for both, we have 1,000 divided by 3. So then subtracting that term from both sides, we'll get that b is equal to 275 minus 1,000 over 3. And then that's a big number, so we want to give ourselves a common denominator. So 275 times 3 minus 1,000 all over 3. And then just using any scientific calculator that you want to use, we'll get 275 times 3 is equal to 825 minus 1,000 over 3. And that is going to be equal to negative 175 divided by 3. So then putting that all together in our final equation, we have y is equal to 100 over 1.5 times x minus 175 divided by 3. And that is our equation. So now that we have our equation, we can just rewrite it here. We had y equals 100 over 1.5 times x minus 175 over 3. So basically, if we read our question B, they're asking us what is y when x equals 6. So then to solve that, we can just plug in 6 for x. So y is equal to 100 over 1.5 times 6 minus 175 over 3. And so if we're going to do some common denominators, notice here that 1.5 is half of 3. So then we can just multiply this 100 times 6 term by 2. So we have 600 times 2 minus 175 divided by 3, and that's our y value. So then 1200 minus 175 over 3, that's going to be equal to 1025 over 3. And so that is our cost in dollars when Miss Keto works 6 hours.